Good evening, everyone. I'm Senate Minority Leader Michael Roberson. In case you haven't seen my roughly 223,343 media interviews this session. Also, you can tell by my brightly colored peacock feathers. I suppose you're wondering why I've called you all here tonight, along with the media. They're here too, right, Jody? Did we invite the media? Did we invite the media? Hi, I can see they're here. Very well, we can begin. I've called you here because I am the only person in this entire building who knows the first thing about a little something I like to call leadership. You see, leadership is all about taking a tough stand and not worrying about the consequences. And while the majority party has been running around trying to tax everything from payroll to going to the movies, I've been doing the tough work of taking on an unpopular industry that has absolutely no presence whatsoever in my district and thus cannot possibly threaten anybody in my caucus whom I actually care about. That's leadership. Take notes, Senator Dennis. Where are you? He blew us off. I have to admit, it's been very difficult for me this session, mostly because I'm such a gifted leader, a brilliant strategist, and a humble man. There's virtually no one in this building who can debate me on my level.
Oh, really? How about me?
Well, who are you? You look vaguely familiar.
I am Michael Roberson of 2011. You can tell because of my smooth face. But I also have the ass feathers. I'm the only one skillful enough to debate you, but you sure have changed.
Well, what do you mean, me of 2 years ago? I'm the same guy, except for this wonderfully lustrous beard, of course.
Oh, don't try that on me, present-day Michael Roberson. Remember, I know you too well. I remember attacking Democrats on the floor because they were big old whores for the unions. I did that. And demanding collective bargaining reform. And how about taxes? I stood on principle, opposing all taxes no matter what. I even voted against Governor Brian Sandoval's budget after he went straight squish and extended the sunsets. Remember that, Beardy?
Hey, that was different. I was a freshman then. I was in the minority.
You still are in the minority, genius. What did it profit you, man, to gain a couple seats in the second row and yet use your own soul?
Oh, don't hit me with that Bible boy. We're not in Kansas anymore.
I know, but I can still hear the miners mining. The noise. I still hear them. They'll never be quiet in my head until I tax them to death.
Well, at least we can agree on that. But seriously, look at what I've done. I've stolen a key Democratic issue, and I embarrassed the hell out of them. They look like wusses compared to me.
Please, Michael Roberson of the present. They wanted to tax going to the gym. And they endured hours upon endless hours of painful testimony on that sex ed bill only to kill it at the 11th hour. How much help did they need from you to embarrass themselves, really?
That's a good point, but look, I'm well positioned now to take the majority next time. I can run on trying to save the business community by using my mining tax to kill that teachers initiative, which they hate even more.
Dude, you're proposing a huge tax on mining, which is big business. That's our core constituency, man. Remember, once voters approve SGR 15, mining's taxes will actually go down. Nice work. You've actually cost the state money.
Not true. I got a legal opinion from LCB that says we can still tax them, and the locals will get their money too.
Look what's become of you. A stand-up, pro-business Republican has ended up sounding exactly like Sheila Leslie. For God's sakes. How do you expect to convince anybody to donate to your caucus now, wondering when you'll turn on them?
But I can beat Justin Jones. He wants to grab your guns and make you gay marry a gay who's just been issued a driver's privilege card.
Doesn't matter. The Democrats will probably win Barbara Sagaski's seat, but you never thought you'd be sad to see her go.
FYI, we like the groans the best. Honestly, no, I did not ever think I'd be sad to see that.
That's what I'm saying, me of 2 years from now. You've got to think more about the end game. I know the media loves to write about your grand strategy, but you and I both know you're just making it up as you go along.
Oh, that's not true at all. Just ask Monty and Sheldon. I can read a script. And I'm still better at politics than all of you guys.
Well, listen, I've got to get back to 2011. I've got to go screw Sagaski out of that caucus chairmanship.
Comes back. I don't know what we in the media would do without them. Now for some new news briefs.
Breaking news, lawmakers are considering new requirements for leadership positions. Most important, if you're in leadership and you can't get your own bill passed, you must resign. Whether it was the payroll tax proposed by Senate Majority Leader Mo Dennis, or the good times, yippee-wee, family fun tax by Speaker Marilyn Kirkpatrick, or the background check bill proposed by Majority Leader William Horn. It's time to face the facts. You just weren't scary enough. I say give Assemblywoman Michelle Fiore a chance.
Senator Joe Hardy earlier said he cannot separate his conscience from his religious views on the eternal bond of marriage. He later said he also cannot separate his bypasses from the eternal toll on roads.
Senators Pete Gocochea and James Settlemeyer today brought to the legislature a traditional springtime rural tradition. Follow me here. Now, back in the old days in rural Nevada, it is well known that there can only be one bull on the ranch. So they demonstrated by castrating Senators Ben Kekeffer, March Hutchison, Joe Hardy, Scott Hammond, and Greg Brower. And afterward, they presented Senate Minority Leader Michael Roberson with a ceremonial necklace. Yum.
Majority Leader Mo Dennis suggested today that a new legislative rule be adopted. If you're going to vote against the bill anyway, you're not allowed to ask questions about it. He's been calling it the Sagaski rule.
Assemblywoman Leslie Cohen and Melissa Woodbury have started the Quiet Caucus. We speak softly or not at all, Cohen said. Woodbury added, once we were both gone for 3 days and nobody noticed.
Mark Hutchinson announced on the Senate floor today how happy he was to be here, how happy he was that everyone was here, how much he wanted to thank all of his colleagues and some people who aren't his colleagues for doing such a great job, and then told everybody to watch his weekly video where he talked more about how the great things that are going on in Carson City.